Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this gemba360 Back to Basics session. My name is Nihal Samara. I'm the General Counsel and Legal Director here at Kaizen Synergy Law Firm, and I'd like to welcome you all to today's Back to Basics session, focusing on the Gemba docs permission levels. So let's jump in and have a look. We are going to be covering off specifically the Gemba docs and also some of the permission levels and how they work for setting these up within your own agency. As always, we'd like to pay our respects to the elders past and present upon the lands on which we all meet. While this session is being run by webinar and recorded, we do pay our respects to the traditional owners accordingly. So, some basics that we do cover off over and over again on these Back to Basics session. The gemba360 dashboard is based on a person's position, not just the user that's accessing the system. And that is particularly important here in the Gemba docs permission levels. So you might have an organizational structure that looks like this. And as part of that, you might then have a person that sits as, let's say, we've got Bob, for example, who is a quality officer, who might be responsible for a policy document. So Bob may actually have read-write access over that particular policy document. Now, Bob may also be part of the all-staff team, which I assume he would be. Now, all staff, generally people would give staff general access to a policy, and it might be what I'll say is view only, and I'll come to what this means. But essentially, this allows staff to only view a document. They can't edit it, they can't only read, access it, download it, but they can only view it on the screen, and that's what you might want to have. Now, the other option that Bob may also be part of is the committee of management, and in this case, he might be part of the quality committee. Now, the quality committee, because it's the board, you may not want to give them access to certain documents. So we can see here from a permission level, jumping straight into how this whole thing works, you might have one person, and in this case, in our example, it's Bob, that has different permission levels based on where Bob actually sits within the different parts of your agency. And you might have a whole bunch of people all over the place, but we've just used Bob in this case. Now, the way that this works is that Bob, in his quality role, might have read-write access where he's responsible for actually changing the documents. The all staff you might want to give them only view access. You don't want them to be able to change the document. Or you might have the quality committee where you don't want them to have access to it at all, but it only gets tabled through a hard copy document. So essentially, when we look across this, because Bob's part of all of these groups, he has different permission levels based on what we see. But what Gemba Docs does is looks across all of these permission levels, looks at the individual permission level, then looks at what teams Bob is on, and goes, what's the highest level permission level for this particular document? And in this case, it equals read-write access. So what we'll see is that across all of these groups and all of these teams, as you set up the permission levels in Gemba Docs, it'll be based on a person's individual profile. Then it'll also be based on where they fit within the agency and what their role is, what teams are they a part of. Now, when we jump into it, and I said you might have a whole number of people, I've just used Bob as an example of this. If I go back one slide, but essentially you've got access based on the highest level access there is. And it doesn't matter the structure of your agency at all. It doesn't matter where people are. It doesn't matter how things move or anything like this, because basically it is based on a person's position. Now, when we jump into gemba360, and I'll just bring this up here. Here we go. Okay, so when we jump into gemba360, we can click on gemba360. Now, where I can go to view the permission levels is right in the left-hand side of the toolbar. Here it is here, and you'll see a little arrow. You can see a little slider menu that pops up here. That's flicking. That's the permission levels bar. Now, if I go in here, what I will see is a list of the permission levels. Now, remember, this is open for admins to be able to access. Okay, so this is able for admins to be able to access. Now, what you can see from here is we've got write, read, view only, and no access. And essentially, these folders here that I'm moving up and down on the screen, and you can see the colors start to move. All of these, if I open these up and click on them, you will see that they align directly to the folders that you have on the main dashboard. And what I am able to do from here is mark who can write them, so who can actually edit them, who can read them, what the view only access is. And the view only access allows you to view it on the screen only, and you can print it out, but you cannot make any changes to the document. And no access gives you literally no access to that document, and that's really important here. So what you can do from here is either assign it to all the different teams within your agency. So if I wanted to have a look at the all staff team, for example, I can simply click on all staff. Now, in this case, I'm going to give them no access to everything. But you know what? I want to actually look at the policy and procedures register, and I want to give them actually view only access, which means that they will only be able to view it on the Gemba dashboard screen. Yes, they can print it out, but they can't do anything else with it. And that's the view only option. Now, let's say I want to do that. I can simply go down the bottom and now save the changes. And it is literally as simple as that. Now, if I wanted to go in and then make other changes, let's say if I wanted to have a look at there's a financial member, or actually let me bring it up to one of the other test users. Here we are here. And I can also change this person's profile directly as well too. So you can still do it on the individual level. And if I go back to my slides, here we are here. I'm just going to go back to the slides. And here I can actually control all the different permission levels that I want to see. So I can control it on the individual level, and how I do that for the individual position, starting on the left-hand side, and let me just jump to the gemba360. I can bring it up to the drop menu here and give individual people access to different things. If I wanted to do it at the, let me bring this back to my slide. If I wanted to control it at the team level, so all staff, or if there was a committee of management that I wanted to have, so those are the teams, I can then bring this back to the individual, and I'll just start the screen here. Here we are here. I can bring this up and actually have a look at these teams here. Now, somebody has just asked, how do we control the group, the membership of these teams, which is a really good question. So we'll just jump into here and actually have a look at this. So essentially in the dashboard, all the groups and teams are actually controlled within the organization profile. And the organization profile is something we are going to go through in a few weeks' time. Now, this controls the groups and teams. And in here, I've got the tab that says groups and teams. I can actually update these by simply going onto, let's say, the all staff team and making sure that we've got those. Or if I wanted to have a look at other teams, like for example, I might have the quality and risk team. And if I wanted to create a new team, I can simply create a new team here. From here, I can then go into the quality and risk team. So let's say the quality here. And from here, I actually want to add in a couple of people in here. So let's say I wanted to add a couple of people. Here we are here, and I can add them in. Now, if I go back to the Gemba dashboard, okay, and back into the Gemba docs and clicking on this. Now, what I can see if I go into the permission levels, and again, I'm doing this live for you. Here we are here. I've now created the risk team that I wanted to actually see. So this allows me to actually create any teams that I want to actually have being shown on here and see exactly who I've actually got on here directly as well. And this really allows me to control all the groups, all the teams, and the individual users on this system directly. As I mentioned before, with this, when we go into the permission levels, you can look across all of the groups and individual users and know that basically dependent on the different profiles that they have will mean that they will be given the highest level access to the documents. And it is literally as simple and as easy as that to manage your permission levels within your Gemba doc system on Gemba directly. Now, happy to answer any questions that people might have from the permission levels. More than happy to stay online. If you are watching this recording after today's live session, then by all means, please reach out to us on 1300 360 360 or email us at support@gemba360.com.